Hello, Piotr.
Hello, Eva.
How are you today?
Great.
Greetings from Warsaw, or from where? From Warsaw, right?
Unfortunately, I'm stuck in Warsaw, which is not perfect, but what can I do? We know the situation, we have to work accordingly. So for the time being, there's nothing I can do. But if you can come over and rescue, please do rescue.
Well, the minute I can do that, I will do that. Trust me, but I need to be rescued as well. So we're on the same boat.
Yes.
Actually, I was thinking this online fashion week we're doing, or this support local project, is very nice because it gives you a bit of a different vibe. You know, everyone's already really tired of the situation of not being able to travel, and actually it brings us to different worlds. Sometimes I feel when I'm scrolling through the collections, I feel like I'm seeing them or I'm there. So it kind of transcends me to where I would love to be. Is that the same with you, or how do you feel about that?
It's a very funky, very funny feeling. Honestly, I had a lot of hesitations before. I thought it's not going to work because, you know, we don't see the real thing. They are not in motion. We cannot go backstage. We cannot touch the stuff. So we have limited tools to judge. But on the other hand, we still have enough to go through to see. And as I said last time, if we take this as an opportunity to talk to designers and also to the potential buyers and guide all of them and set like a platform for conversation, it's absolutely enough. And it's a kind of nice experience, and I like it because it's brand new. We know that fashion weeks and the fashion shows as they used to be, they're pretty dated, and I'm not sure if it's going to work ever again. And so many designers who decided to pull off from the fashion weeks already, from the big names like Saint Laurent or Armani to the smaller names. So I think it's bit more even democratical because it's available for more of the designers. You don't need to spend money or get the sponsor to arrange the fashion show because it's pretty pricey, as we know. Some of the viewers, some of the other guests forget how much money do you need to do a proper presentation or proper fashion show. It's a very expensive entertainment, maybe not worth it. This is a bit, much less expensive, and you can be very creative, and you can really edit your collection, and you can go down to, let's say, 5 or even 4 silhouettes, the best of your collection, and show it over. I think it's nice. It's really interesting, and I like the selection for this week particularly. I'm really kind of happy of what we've seen so far.
I was hoping for that. And I told you that I'm excited about the next one because I kind of knew who's going to be in the next one. I must absolutely agree with you that in a sense, everything is changing. The whole system is changing. God knows how it's going to be. I think it's, as we said, all a repeating cycle. So we're somewhere on the downward spiral of the cycle, but it can be reborn. But at this time and at the moment, it's what it is. And maybe in the future or in the near future, we'll be doing mostly reviews like this. It's probably going to be buyers that will see it all in a virtual showrooms. Yes, because also, which I said in my article, and I don't like to cite myself, but this is exactly what I asked, which fashion week is sustainable? The one that is not happening, and we all know. So, yes, and I think there's a huge support from the local community of the designers. They're all very happy we're doing this because they deserve it. They really deserve it. And I need to say this in this moment. They deserve it all. They deserve it for doing what they're doing, not giving up, not being not scared, but not being intimidated by the big brands and, you know, just giving up right off the bat, trying to do their own thing, producing it sometimes in really challenging conditions because the financial, you know, streams are limited. The whole technology is many times limited. They're, you know, left to their own you know, their own devices, being themselves who create the clothes. They don't have big ateliers with 10 seamstresses to do this stuff, so they're mostly doing it themselves. And I just would like to thank each and all of them and every one of them for doing this, for being brave enough, for also, I want to stress, and we forgot to say this the last time, all the materials that we're reviewing are done especially for Vogue. So all the videos and the lookbooks were never seen before. All the designers, actually even the ones whose collections were out before and were out for some time, they did their own materials again. So the production was done again, just so the viewers of Vogue see it in a premiere. So thank you all for this, because, you know, it was challenging, especially in times of quarantine where we could not meet and everyone was kind of scared to come out. So it was technically really challenging to do this. So we would like to, I'm sure I can voice our both voices for us. We would love to thank you all for this and for taking a part in this virtual fashion week, which we call Support Local. So Piotr, would you like to start?
Yeah, just let me add one more thing. I think we are using Vogue Czechoslovakia as a platform to talk about this fashion, which is an excellent platform because we go straight ahead. First of all, we go online, which is available everywhere in the world. If somebody out there in, I don't know, Peru, Australia, just name it, is into unique fashion, can just go to the Vogue Czechoslovakia website or to the YouTube channel and see collections and our review, and it works wonderfully. I guess it gives us designers many new opportunities and tools to let's say expand horizons and expand our viewers and get to the people we probably might never get to if the old system was still ongoing. So yeah, I'm really happy with the selection for this year, for this week. As you said, it's getting better and better, and it's absolutely true. We started with, as we said, we're gonna keep it in alphabetical order. So we started with Božidary from Moravia. I would like to start with, I don't want to talk about clothes yet. I want to talk about brand because it's a pretty interesting case. Because Božidary at the beginning of the opening of her website says it's an international fashion brand. And I'm just thinking, okay, she's going to kill it. She's got such a great name and she's going to kill it. She's going to lose it, the great opportunity to stand out from the crowd. Just the second sentence is so much better. She explaining what's the name, where this name comes from, what does it mean. She introduced herself as a girl from Moravia, from Czech Republic. Fantastic. Let's keep it like that. Don't say international fashion brand. It's not an airport, or I don't know. It's a fashion brand. So if you feel like nationality or a country of origin is not relevant, just say nothing. But if you feel it's relevant, say, I'm from Czech Republic, I'm from Moravia. It's fantastic. You're already standing out from the crowd. First of all, right after the introduction, Božidary tells the very nice story about her background of the brand, which is the story of her grandmother who used to knit a lot in the afternoons, in the evenings. We probably lost the track, but not so long time ago, it was a very common activity in the afternoons. Easy to combine with socializing, easy to combine with entertainment. And one of the best ways to create unique outfits just for our own, one of a kind. And what Božidary is trying to do is trying to bring the magic of handmade knitwear back. And in a way, I feel like she succeeded. I did view her presentation, but I was also hooked by the name and by the presentation. And I went online to see the shop online. One more thing I can already say. When you are doing something for us, for Vogue viewers, for Vogue readers, and you have a chance to present your collection online, and you took an effort and created the video to go with the collection. You have a lookbook. Don't leave us just with the name of the collection. Leave us with the link or with the name of your website of the shop, because this is a great opportunity. You have a client watching you. I'm your potential client. You are a potential client. Everyone is a potential client. So say at the end of the video, this is my website. This is the address of online store or whatever. Just make me come and follow you, because with the names like Božidary, Google is not your best friend. We are your best friends, so we are giving you opportunity to go to a website. So I did see what's on the website, because this is the case. This is not a fall-winter collection, right? This is out-of-season collection.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, because Božidary, she doesn't work. She doesn't follow the system. She's not trying to fit to the system. She's working. She's got her own rhythm, and it works for her. She does knitwear, very chunky, heavy-looking, but probably light, handmade. It looks very good, because what the knitwear needs is a very clear line, visible line. And this collection has a very visible line. It has a structure, which is very important, because I got a feeling like we already exhausted with this, shapeless knitwear that you can buy everywhere. We need knitwear that follows the shape of the body, but it has a line on its own. We need a quality knitwear. We need stuff like that, because it's very comfy, it's very cozy, it has a very nice color. It's not groundbreaking probably, but it looks so comfortable. It's just stuff you need on everyday basis. So why not? I'm really almost a fan of this collection. My only reservation, my only regret is there are not many garments designed or dedicated for men. I know it's officially for both men and women, but I feel like the men's knitwear need to be, especially if you go with below the hip line, with cardigan, for example, it requires buttons. Buttons missing, for example. I would like to see the men's, like daddy cardigan with oversized pockets and huge buttons, and it will look great on both men and women. But in general, I like the collection, I like the concept. It's very nice. For me, Moravia used to be, Jiří Hajíček and Moravian wine only, and now it's Božidary as well. So I'm happy for extending my horizons, expanding.
Well, what a good start. What a nice, positive start. You wanted to be the more bitter last time, and I'm not seeing it so far. It's probably that they made us happy, right?
I have to admit, this week forced me to be not a regular me, because regular me is sweet and sour, well balanced, but sweet and sour. I cannot be myself this week, because what I've seen so far is pretty good. I'm not gonna be pitching on something that I actually like and I feel positive about. I'm gonna follow. I already follow Božidary on Instagram, because I'm really working on. So
okay.
She's got a new client. Already.
This is really going out of your box. That's what we were talking before we started recording. We're all going out of our boxes, but that's fine. I mean, it's absolutely natural, and it's actually healthy to go out of the box sometimes. Mm-hmm. With Božidary, I would say I would probably not talk a lot about this, because you've said a lot already. I would say the chair again. I saw the chair again. If I see one more of this chair and probably the studio, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Seriously, it's for me again the same aesthetics. Yes, it's what I love about this is the knitwear, and it's exactly what you said. The world needs more tailored knitwear. Let's specify this, tailored knitwear.
Exactly.
It's exactly what you were talking about. This kind of knitwear can be named as tailored because it has details, more details than just a sweater. The sweater has pockets, and the pockets are in all the right places. And you know, to make a really good cashmere sweater, it's a piece of art, we both know. And I must agree also that men need this. I mean, it's one of the basic and you know, really stable pieces in any of fine men's closet is good sweaters, good cashmere sweaters, nice pullovers, nice vests that they can combine. It's something they build on forever. So it's something that she actually should discover a bit more, and she would probably profit out of this a lot. I will not say what I don't like, because there's a lot, but I will say what I like, and that's the minimalism, and that's not the overload of looks. She did a few looks that she can work around, really nice natural colorway, a nice palette that she can work a lot with, but I was put off by the chair. It's probably something that I cannot get over. And you know, when you start to get more and more familiar with the Czechoslovakian fashion and the lookbooks, you'll see this chair a lot, so you'll probably understand what I mean. But it's probably, I've seen it too many times, and this is everything that I would like to say about Božidary. For me, fingers crossed, yes, absolutely. The bags, I also want to say one more, yes, good knitted bags for the beach or even for the winter, because they look nice when they're done from a heavy wool or wool with mohair and complemented with leather. You can actually wear them a lot in the winter as well. So she actually found something that's not as overexposed these days, and if she focuses on doing really nice minimalistic quality tailored knitwear, it's probably a way to go for her.
Also, if I can add one thing, it's just technical. When you go to the website and you want to get as many details as possible, because you just see the picture. So saying oversized scarf is not enough. Measurements are needed in this case, for example, right? So let's be more specific. And even if the whole collection is done from the same yarn, which is not, whenever you go to the single garment, just say it's 100% wool, 100% cashmere, 100% or 50% of cotton with wool, or is it recycled wool? Be very specific in description. We need these details. So,
and especially these days when people are so careful what they buy. Me, for example, I might say I never buy artificial materials, something that puts me off. I need wool, I need cotton, I need silk, I need good cashmere. This is what absolutely draws me to buy the piece. So yes, but it's probably something that's also about, you know, she's quite young. She's not as in it, you know, she's not as experienced.
Sure.
And so these are, you know, also I want to say a few designers reacted to our first batch, and they thanked us for the good advice we gave them. There were a few of them. And so maybe, you know, this is also good for them to know what to do, because we're not only speaking as critics, we're also speaking as potential clients, and we speak as people who buy fashion for years. So, you know, you get the double view. You get the view of the critic, but also as a client. So this is absolutely right. They all need more details, and more descriptions of the product, for sure.
So we agree on that. Shall we move on to the next collection?
Yes.
Okay, so Freier.
Hi.
Freier from Bratislava.
I want to hear your opinion first, because I'll be biased.
Okay.
No, I won't.
Starting from the brand's name, I think it's very tricky. Freier in German means, you know what it means.
Yes, and that's exactly do you know what the brand means? What's her own?
What's her explanation? Because the Freier in German means the client of the prostitute.
Yes, freier is a slang word we took from German language because, as you know, Czechoslovakia used to be a part of Austrian-Hungarian monarchy. So we get a lot of these words which are a mix of old German and old Hungarian. And freier is a slang word for someone who has a cool attitude, who's also free because it comes from the word free, frei.
Okay.
So, but
it's more Yiddish.
But the word frei, the frei, ich bin frei means I am free. But slang meaning of the word in our geographical region of Czech and Slovakia is to have a bit of a cool attitude and to be free as well.
Okay.
I would say it's kind of cool, free person. So it's a connection of the words, or it's a words free and someone with a cool attitude. So now you know.
So it's nice, very nice explanation, because at the beginning it was confusing, because freier is also, you know, as I said, the client of a sex worker. This is the original meaning. I
think Teresia Fenoučíková will add this to her knowledge about her brand name.
It's fabulous, because you get hooked. You want to know, you want to see the collection, and then you see the collection. And this is like, you know, entering the outer space. This is the collection of, I imagined a spaceship that didn't make it to the final destination, that's crashed somewhere. We have survivors, so it's not the bad story, it's not the bad ending. And the survivors approach us wearing a kind of garments which is totally unusual. It's just, I got a feeling like it's decomposing, it's like dissolving or melting in front of us so we can see it. So something is going on with this collection, which is amazing, which is fantastic to see. There are so many looks that it's hard to figure out what exactly it is. Is it a vest? Is it a coat? Is it a part of the uniform? I like these trousers with oversized pockets, which are not inside pockets, but outside, like a decoration, which is a very, you know, simple trick, a very clever idea how to accessorize trousers. I'm not sure about all these applications, about these tags being applied to what we see. I don't feel like it's needed. When it's raw, when it's clean, which is just pure structure, layering, it's more interesting. I don't need this. But in general, I had a very good time watching this collection. I had a very good time, you know, discovering the link between the inspiration, which is Alien series, which is a very nice and Sigourney Weaver, and what we have now. You know, we've been bitching last week about the so-called zeitgeist and the streetwear. This collection originates from the streetwear. It's a new take on the streetwear. It's more interesting. There's something going on. It's very, very interesting. I know the girl who stands behind the brand, she's been already awarded. She's like a very promising newcomer to Slovak fashion industry. And she's very promising. We're following. What do you think?
Well, for me, first of all, everyone who knows us and follows us, they know that I'm a big fan of Teresia Fenoučíková. And I'm sure it's fair to say it right from the start. I sell her clothes in our showroom, but it's not why I'm speaking so nicely of her. I sell her clothes because I love her clothes, and this is why I'm speaking so nicely of her. First of all, for me, it's absolutely fascinating the way she goes about concept. It's very important in fashion. It's probably one of the most important things, all along with great sense for tailoring and detail and good marketing, which is absolutely needed. But the concept, to have a concept. So I know who I am, I know where I am, and I know where I'm going. That's exactly what we're saying last week. Not many people know this. They kind of copy the codes that are around, that they think work, that are cool, but they're not really having any concepts. So they have no system of where they see themselves and how to get there, because this is absolutely important. She's one of the most conceptual persons on our market, and I will sign this with my own blood. Mm-hmm. She is fascinated by things that have nothing to do with what's going on. Yes, streetwear, you absolutely nailed it. But this comes out of the fact that she's very young, and she is in this hip, cool, young community. So she's not obviously going to do fur coats that are from top to bottom. She's going to do what she feels good in and where she can get the inspiration from. But to be inspired by old, this is the thing, not the new Alien series where we see Fassbender and who not, but the old Alien series where Ellen Ripley, which was her hero for this collection, is in the old settings, almost 80s, 90s. You see the strong aesthetics. People who know the movie, I know the movie very well, is one of my favorite sci-fi movies. Mm-hmm. The aesthetic in the movie itself is very appealing, but to people that can actually see and go and see beyond the screen, you know, you see her in the only in the underwear with the tank top where she's hiding behind some scaphanders, you know, and there's nothing there, but it's so sexy, still so sexy. You see her in the overalls in the rompers, you know, going around with the, you know, trying to repair the spaceship, and she only has the dirty rompers on, and she's all sweaty, and there's again nothing, and it is so sexy. There's nothing but the rompers and the badge here, and you want to wear it and you want to be her. And this is something which I admire about Teresia, that she gets the inspiration from things that are not in, that are not hot at the moment, but they are yet so strong, and they're almost like modern day iconography, because this is a modern day iconography, a Ripley for sure. Mm-hmm. But that's why she had all the badges there, because they were actually copied from the movie. They were copies of Ellen Ripley badge, and she tried to make like I guess what she tried to do with it was to create a bit of a texture. So when you have the cotton, and she only works with natural materials, and then you put a bit of a plastic on, it creates a pattern and dimension. Yes, I see why you think it's a bit too much, but in the context, also the knitwear with the Nostromo, you know, that was the planet where they crashed or where they were heading, the Nostromo. So for me, it's every tiny detail is thought through. The badges, the name of the planet, and also the dialogues from the movie. Yet people are not familiar with the movie. Many of the people that are around these days are not. So it's something not first plan. It's something really contextual. Mm-hmm. And the tailoring, because I own a few of her pieces, the tailoring is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's such a pity that you cannot really touch it, try it on, see it. Also, what I really love is that she is doing unisex clothing, which is made for males, but also with a strong female energy, and it's unisex. Mm-hmm. I have pieces from her. My colleague who's a male wears pieces from her. So really, we can actually borrow each other's pieces and it will still look good. For me, also the clothes can be deconstructed in different ways. So you have a coat and then it's tied to, like, the big parts are intertwined with ties. So it can be both a shirt and a coat, you know, depending how you feel. So very functionalistic approach. There's a lot of function. And the pockets, I love that you notice the pockets, because if Andrea Pojezdálova is the queen of clean black silhouettes and coats, then Teresia Feňovčíková is the queen of pockets. I've never seen more of a clever way with pockets anywhere. She uses them everywhere. They're either part of a decoration or just the part of to create a pattern and dimension. They're highly functional. They are hidden, but they have, you know, it's such an art to make a hidden pocket that still has a meaning and it's not out of place. And you discover it and you're actually happy. Oh, there's a pocket. Oh, and how cleverly done, you know? So it's a pity you cannot see it in person. For me, one of the biggest talents, most hardworking persons, and I will repeat it over and over again, she really deserves all your praise and you know, nice words you said about her. And I think actually if she lived in London or Paris, and I said this before as well, she'd have at least one store opened already and a huge clientele of these hipsters, cool, edgy rappers, songwriters, you know, just really, she is a bit too far for our audience, but I think it will come with time. Her fan base is growing each year, and we have people repeating the same as well. She has a big potential, and people returning to get her garments because they are really nicely done and they get the credit as well. When someone wears freier, everyone is asking, oh my God, what is this? What are you wearing? You know, and they want to have it. So there's a huge stamp on the clothing she's making. It's really her. It's really authentic. It's different. And I love what you said again. It's streetwear, which is the zeitgeist and it's around, but somehow it's different. It's different. And it makes you look twice. And it makes you think about it. And this is another thing I love about fashion. We said in the first batch, emotion. Fashion should give you emotion, but I also love to think about fashion. I love fashion that makes me think. And this is what her stuff makes me think.
And what I also like about this collection and about designer, she's creating the whole picture, right? So the setting is perfect. Every single detail is exactly where it should be. She's thinking about the total, not just total look, but a total picture. She's just creating the story, a very nice visual story. It's like a movie set. It's, you know, many of these pictures, they have the really movie quality, which is fantastic. I love when fashion designer can create a whole environment. In fact.
That's what she's doing.
Which she has. She's a huge talent. That's obvious thing to say. What I'm really is she based in Bratislava?
She's based in Bratislava. Yes.
It's fantastic. We can't make her go anywhere. She needs to stay in Bratislava. I mean, she's
we need her.
National treasure.
We need her. Yes.
Okay, so let's keep it like here. Shall we move to the other one? Is it that easy? And are we gonna be that nice for the rest of the day? People might get disappointed. Or we might get lost. Come on.
Trust me. It's just the beginning. There's much more to come in the next week. So let's be nice today.
Okay. So let's go. I don't recognize myself. I don't recognize you, Eva, as well. But anyway.
Let's wait. It's coming. I feel
Hana
it's coming.
Time for Hana Frišonsové. Hana Frišonsové, laboratory shirt. This is collection, as it says, based and focused on shirt. And she's trying to work and rework a very basic garment which a shirt is. Usually, I think it's everywhere in the world when you study fashion. Is one of the first thing you do. You do something inspired by shirt. You do shirt, you do t-shirt, and then you slowly, step by step, go into something more complicated. But this is basic. You need to take a stand when it comes to shirt. I think what Hana does is pretty interesting because she somehow created a shirt which is partly a traditional shirt, a part of the apron, a laboratory uniform, even a cape sometimes because it's so roomy, it's oversized. Sometimes you feel like the major problem I have, my biggest reservation when it comes to Hana collection is in the movie we see too many close-ups focusing on the face of the model
On details.
showing more details, because there's a lot probably, we can read it in the press release. There are a lot of going on in terms of detailing, in finishing, in cut, but you can't see it. So there is a lot to talk about and a lot to see, but it wasn't shown in the movie, which is a lost opportunity again. I like when the designer is focused on something. I'm not sure it's enough for a collection, but whatever collection means right now. She did like 5 takes on this, and she succeeded. It's not groundbreaking, but it's very well done. It's very interesting. There's nothing to bitch about, I think. Or am I wrong, Eva?
Well, I will say firstly what I loved about this, and I really loved, and I think that many designers should take note. She's not too, there is not much courage, which is good. So she is doing what she thinks she knows the best, and that's what she's doing. Mm-hmm. Some designers are not really universal designers, so they can really work one garment perfectly, coat, a shirt, as you said, a skirt, or a few of the basic pieces, but they never stray into too many directions, or you know what I mean, like they do one thing, they do it properly, and she's probably one of them. She understood that this is what her strong side is. She has probably potential to do this, and so she did it. For me, it was not enough for me. I mean, I'm not a fan of this type of shirts. I understand the need for very comfortable, versatile clothing. She had it there as a vest without a sleeve, then she had it there as a longer dress that you can tie. But exactly, I was missing the close-ups. I was missing to see how it really moves with the person, because shirt is also a science to make. A nice fitting quality shirt is a science to make. So we want to see how it's made. Not enough for me. I mean, good thing is she does the good thing she knows, and that's the shirt. Maybe she will venture out in the future. We may not know. Maybe she'll do skirts as well. But this time she did the shirt. For me, not enough. Mm-hmm. It's probably not because I'm not a fan of this aesthetic. I can get over that, but I was missing opinion. It's probably what I was missing. Mm-hmm. It was nice. It didn't insult me, but I didn't have any emotion from it. There was no opinion. It did not harm anyone, but it didn't cause the stir either.
So it's very neutral. It's not, mm-hmm. Lacks attitude, definitely.
Which is not good, which is not bad in fashion, which is not bad. I mean, if she wants to go about this, she will price it very fairly and nicely. She'll probably have a fan base of people who like comfortable clothes. But then again, there's so many people who do this, and they have opinion, and these are the people who will get their communities together to buy their stuff. So my advice would be, if she asked me, which she probably will not, but my advice would be maybe more concept. Not just the shirt, maybe a bit more concept.
Mm-hmm. But it seems like she's very young, isn't she? She's very young. Yes. It's a new brand. I absolutely agree with you, but I feel like, she's just starting. I wouldn't call it, I think like this is what you can expect from a designer at the beginning of the career, from the designer who is not calling himself a designer, is rather using his name just to say it's a fashion brand. It's more safe to say, because what we are missing also here is the more conceptual design process. There is not enough in terms of design as well. But the stuff is modern, is clean cut, looks okay.
Exactly, as I said, it doesn't insult you. You don't have any negative feelings from it. You don't have a feeling she's pretending to be something she's not, that she's a poser, which is also a hit around here, to be a poser. you know, to pretend you're something you're not. So this is something very nice. And I think, yes, exactly. She's too young, and maybe in a year we'll be talking absolutely differently. She's starting, she's evolving, she's also learning what's hot and what's not. So there's not much more I can say about this collection.
Fine. Let's move on to Odivi. Odivi?
Yes.
Shall I start? Yep. You want to start?
I can actually start this time because I reviewed them last year. The collection, I'm not sure if you've seen, was they sent out nude models. Everyone was nude except one or two looks. I remember my review because many people agreed, some disagreed, but I was not sure if putting out people who have nothing on is presenting some form of fashion. It's presenting an opinion. I always say politics have nothing to do in fashion. Fashion is too beautiful to engage too much politics into it. You know what I mean? And it kind of smelled of politics. What I have to say with this collection this year, for me, I love the message. I really honestly have to say I love the message. I'm not a fan of the first collection that I reviewed because of the naked, not because nudity. Nudity is, I would not be offended, or I would probably, you know, it was not that people were naked there. I just didn't like it. They could have expressed the opinion differently. As you said the last week, you can also create a hole. You know,
yes.
You can also create a hole. But okay, this was their choice. They did it. But this year they went really, really wisely around it to address the problem in fashion. And the biggest problem is overconsumption, overproduction, and unsustainability. Production of too trendy clothes and too many of them. It's absolutely the topic du jour, and it will be for some time to come. And what I really love about what they did was they say, and they're really clear about this, this is our way, this is what we want to do. We want to really point out, we want to stress this problem as much as possible. And what we say it's the best to work with vintage clothing, with pre-owned clothing, with dead stock. If people, I do fashion analysis a lot, and if people knew how much of a dead stock it is around the world sitting in those containers, in those huge storage rooms, people would probably go nuts. It's just insane. And I'm not only speaking about big brands like Chanel, yes, even those, but smaller brands, Zara, H&M, insane quantities. So one of my mantras lately is as well, use clothing that was already made. There's so much of it produced already. What I'm wearing today, by the way, again, Zoltan thought, boring, but he's good. Next year it's going to be something else, I promise. But it's a recycled denim jacket by Levi's that he made into this unique piece, and it's something I'm proud to wear because I'm actually wearing something that was produced already, and it's done with a twist, and it's done in this new way, and it's something unique. It's really limited, and you know, I'm not buying a garment that's another garment adding up to billions, trillions of other garments already produced. So Odivi really love the idea, love it, and yes, guys, do it, continue doing this. There's so many brands that do this already, and they even work with like old vintage Chanel and combine it with new approaches, like they deconstruct the tweed jackets and add to them. I believe also Alessandro De Aqua wanted or was planning to do something like this with his brand Numero 21. So it's definitely a trend, but I was looking at the clothes, not fan of the beads and the face masks, because we're probably all sick of seeing the face mask. I think it's going to be on a blacklist forever unless it's done in this funky and cool way and in this way that it should protect us. But it put me off a bit because I'm wearing it every day, so I don't really want to see it. But then I loved the idea of the really basic pieces in your closet, which is tuxedo jacket, suit, black suit, or the jacket which is a tuxedo jacket but with a twist, so it has these longer asymmetrical sides. So they're going in a good direction, and I absolutely admire them for this. And I must say, for me, much better than last year, and I love the message. And guys, keep doing this. Really, we need this as salt. We really do.
Once again, for me, the collection always starts with the brand's name. So when I saw Odivi, I thought, okay, so this is a twist of Odivi. So it's gonna be Czech take on vêtements. If we need another vêtement, I don't feel like we need it. So I already had my hesitation. I already had reservations at the very beginning. But it's just me. The moment I saw the collection, I thought, okay, it's so much better than what I expected. So it's a very good starting point, first of all. Then I remember I was, like 3 years ago, I was interviewing for the other edition of Vogue, Ronald van der Kamp in Amsterdam. Ronald van der Kamp.
I love him. I'm a big admirer. Okay. Creator of sustainable haute couture, hats off, chapeau. Thanks for mentioning him. Thanks, Piotra, for mentioning him.
He's a great inspiration for all other existing designers right now. What he did long time before, what he launched long time ago, it's now a trend. A few years ago, he was on his own, alone, really treated like a nerd, like, someone who's trying to fix something which is not to be fixed because it should be as it is. Now Ronald van der Kamp proved he's right. I think Odivi is proving as well that there's a new way, as you said. You can use the dead stock, you can use second-hand clothing, you can use whatever left, what's been ignored or left over and probably would end up being burned or buried somewhere. You can do some very good tailoring. What I also like here, they created kind of community. They created kind of movement already. They behave like they are movement. I feel like there is a passion, there is a dedication, they're crazy about what they're doing. I love it. I love this feeling when someone is really sure this is what we're gonna do. We're not pretending, we're not faking it. We are 100% involved. This is us. And I feel this is the message coming out of this collection. I like these tailoring pieces. I like what they do. I think it's less Ronald van der Kamp, more, again, Martin Margiela. When they cut the jacket horizontally into half, so we have a short jacket combined with the mini dress. It's a very Martin Margiela approach, I think. I think it's really interesting. It looks good. It also looks nearly everything in this collection looks like well done in terms of tailoring, which is crucial at least for the designer collection. What I also like is the story about this bidding they're adding, right? This is fashion is a storytelling. If you have a very nice story, which is true, which is not artificial, it's not fake, it's not, when you feel like it's really coming from your experiences, when you're mentioning your own grandfather, a very nice piece of history of this part of Europe, excellent, and you can incorporate this into your collection, fantastic. I like what we're trying to do when we try to install a piece of corset in the back of the jacket, for example. There are some less fortunate silhouettes, like the jacket with another jacket being sewn around the hips. That doesn't look good, but they have a lot of ideas. They are very creative. They're trying to accommodate these ideas in this collection. We're trying to show as many ways as possible what you can do with the dead stock. Yeah. And I love it, and I just love it. And also, when I see the press release, which comes with details where the showroom is, where you can go and buy, and even mentioning 10% discount. It means they're really taking it seriously. They know this is also the business. You need to get your client hooked, use everything possible to get, first of all, to grab the attention, to keep the attention, and keep the business going. And they are absolutely into it. So I just like it. I like Odivi. I think it's a pretty interesting concept again. Which is very disappointing. What are we going to do? We're going to get fired.
No, there's no way we're going to get fired. And you know this. But you know, the truth is, we need to be fair and objective. And this is showing of us trying to be really objective as possible, because honestly, this is what I always say, I can rise above any antipathy and personal dislike. If when someone does a good collection, I'll say it, and I'll even sell it. If someone doesn't do a good collection, I'll say it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we cannot be really mean when there's nothing to be mean about.
Yeah.
And we need to be critical when there's a need to be critical. I also have a problem with the name of the brand, Odivi. It doesn't do anything to me. It's not strong. I always look for strong. The good thing is it's short, because you need short, but it's not strong. And also in English, Odivi, you know. So we need to also think these days how it sounds in different languages, because fashion is so universal these days. It's so out there in the open. Also now we're talking here and everyone can watch it on YouTube, so the people can get familiar with what's around here. And sometimes actually I feel that these big brands are following our designers, not just Czechoslovakian, but the East Bloc ones, for inspiration. I see a lot of citation of it there. I know it sounds crazy, but no, we were analyzing it the other day, and I say, listen, this is what he did this 2 years ago, and look, it's there. I'm not sure if the codes became too universal, but really I think that there's such a struggle for inspiration these days that they have their eyes everywhere and they look for inspiration everywhere, you know, and they love this new raggedy aesthetics of the Eastern former Ostblock, because as I said, we're not as chiseled yet, and this is really appealing these days. This is what appeals to people. So people should really, the people who create fashion here should really think about having their names speaking to a universal client, a client from Paris, a client from London, client from New York, client from Munich. You know, it should be really appealing to a universal client. So
that's why, you see, also learning from the past, just go back to Japanese designers when they were entering European market with a very strong, hard to pronounce names. Yoji Yamamoto. I mean, so many people are still confused how to say it, right? Issei Miyake, okay, it was much more easier. Henzo was the best one out of it, right? But
but there you go.
But on the other hand, you know, because they were just using their original names, real names, it was a very clear message. We are Japanese. We are coming with our own aesthetic. We are bringing a new word to you. Take it or leave it. It's your choice. So it's fantastic. I mean, that's why I said I like Božidary very much, because
but that's a name. That's a name. That's a different one. When I think people look at it differently when it's clearly a name, first or last name of a person like Božidary or Ray or Issei or Yoji, but it's different when it's Odivi, which people don't know really what it is, you know. So
yeah, you could. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not. We don't want it to sound like it's the worst name on the face of the earth.
No.
But the concept is great. We both like it, the idea. So maybe a name that is more appealing to wider audience.
It's too late to change anything because we already have some history. What I also like, I do encourage people to go online to the website of OVD to see the progress they made from the very beginning, which was just regular streetwear. That is think of the past already, as we said. You really have to deliver something really groundbreaking, to use the name and to prove that really streetwear is ongoing, is something that you'd like to see. But from the streetwear to where they are now is such a huge distance. They managed to pass very, very fast and with grace. It's okay. Isn't
Amazing.
it?
Now we're back to streetwear because we're off to our last one, which is Petra Weingart. No, so I'm really curious about this one. What you have to say about this one?
Well, again, I'm surprised, but in general, I feel like, first of all, there are just two options for streetwear. It either make you look lazy or even lousy, or it's just it's just trying to send a fashion message too strong. So it's using this oversized logo, branding everywhere, which is just disgusting and boring. Petra doesn't do any of this. She just delivers well cut and pretty well tailored casual wear, that's very important to me. Streetwear is also very ageist. It's usually trying to serve just one generation, the youngest generation, young adults only. We don't care about people who are in their late 20s, 30s, etc., etc., with the exception of those really with their strong muscles, right, with the very fit bodies. Otherwise, they are not treating you as a potential client. I can see, especially with these oversized shirt dresses, I can see my mother wearing them and still looking good. And my mother is in her 70s. So this is it's a big thing. It's a great achievement. You don't make people older than 20 neglecting you or avoiding you because you do the streetwear. I think the selection of colors is very interesting as well. There are, even if she does sweatpants, but these sweatpants looks much better than the regular sweatpants. They are not baggy. The quality of cotton is probably much better. The proportions are being really taken care of. So in general, I feel Petra does something to streetwear that might actually save the streetwear for next season and seasons coming, because she does something she does what Božidary does. The stuff that we need, because we need cozy, comfortable, well cut and well executed in terms of tailoring collections for everyday living. I'm not sure if we need so many armless tops. Because again, you need some bulky arms to look good in this, and you need some really fit silhouette to fit into it. I'm not sure about raw finish, again, raw cut, because this is cotton. So I guess this is designed to be washed in washing machine. It's fine with first 2 or 3 washes. Then it's starting to peel off fiber by fiber, and you can't stop it. So I feel it's better to finish it properly. It looks good just at the beginning, but then it's gonna be it's not gonna age gracefully. I'm afraid. But I like the collection. I like the selection of color. I like the vibe. It's very sporty. I like that she doesn't care that she's using this kind of gray, which is universal. This kind of green, which is also universal. Checks are very last season, if not 2 seasons ago. But she's using them again. She's not afraid to use it because this is the thing that works for her. And again, this is not a fall-winter collection. This is kind of universal collection for all seasons. because it's a basic. You can put the very proper coat on and wear it even in late fall or even in December, if December is going to look like it does recently, right? So I have nothing against Petra. I'm just curious if she can move a bit farther from the streetwear, because I saw her dresses, the dresses she made previously in the previous collection, and I think she's got a lot of potential. Maybe she should try to do something more challenging, something more brave next time.
Oh, wow. Nice summary. Nice summary. Again, with Petra, I see the clothes every day, so I can touch them and feel them, and I know how they're made. What really clients love about her t-shirts is that they fit perfectly. A t-shirt, oversized t-shirt, which is a boxy cut, kind of a Cuban cut. It's called a Cuban cut. The Cuban cuts can be different, but this is kind of an oversized Cuban cut. So it's very straight in the body. It's a bit longer in the body, and the sleeves are a bit longer as well. And if it's done nicely, it really hides all your flaws, and you can put it on your pants or you can tuck it in, and it does the trick. As you said, you can layer it. You can wear it in the summer as a t-shirt, or you can wear it over a really thin turtleneck in the winter and put a coat on top. So it's something very versatile. Her clothes are very nicely done. She's not a professional. She's self-trained. So she does fashion as passion. And this is something which I absolutely admire about her. She lives in a very young, again, she is inspired by her community where she lives every day. I believe she has a teenage child, so there's a lot of inspiration there as well. And very versatile, authentic, usable, wearable clothing. This is no pretense. This is no playing on anything. This is no playing a role. This is just doing what she loves, and you can see it and feel it from the clothes. And this is, again, something I want to stress, and we've said this so many times in between the lines already. It doesn't have to be the most brilliant collection of the year or of the whole fashion week. But if it speaks an authentic language and you can feel it from the clothes, and you can actually feel the people that make these clothes, and you feel like this is not a pose, this is something believable and real, it makes the collections more appealing and you're more open to the collections. And this is exactly what always came out of her collections to me. She's not trying to be anyone or anybody. She's just doing what she loves and what she believes in, and she's trying to do it well. So if she makes sweatpants, the sweatpants are nicely done, nicely tailored. They're not regular sweatpants like from H&M. They're tailored sweatpants. So even when guys put them on, they always say, oh my God, I feel so good in them. They just move with me and they look so cool. And so it's all there. For me, I don't like the word hate, but I hate checks. I hate them with passion. I probably don't own one piece of clothing, and not even socks, and no, not even underwear that has checks. And with her checks, I would never buy it personally, but I look at it and I say, it's kind of cute. Somehow it works. It has the place. It has actually the meaning in the collection. As you said, really good color scheme. Not really the basics like black, or gray. And not really the in colors, which is neon and, the turquoise and the coral. But something in between, neutrals like vanilla. Army green, khaki green, which is really nice. She also understands that the khaki green, the olive green, is really nice for your skin tone. It brings out nice when you're tanned in the summer or in the spring. It looks nice almost against any skin tone, because her khaki is not the Dijon-like warm khaki, not yellowish. It's more really olive and grayish green, which is very nice. the checks also, the white, but the crisp also, I call it blue white, because white is not only white, we know it's like the red is blue red and orange red, so the white is, you know, yellow white and white and so the white is really crisp. And the collection, it's just, honestly, she doesn't have a lot of looks, she has a few looks, but these looks are so you know, that you can combine them together and make completely different outfits. You take the sweatpants with the sleeveless vest and you put something on the top, and then you take the vest and combine it with shorts and it looks completely different. You tie it with the belt. So you can tell she actually also thinks about her collections. So my verdict, because this is called verdict, is it's not groundbreaking, it's nothing new, it's nothing we would fall off our feet because we saw it, but it's really nice, it's really authentic, it's really wearable, and again, it has the zeitgeist, but sometimes, somehow it has more soul. It has more soul. So it speaks to you somehow. Although you're not a fan of streetwear, but you actually think, maybe I should get this. Maybe I should also get this, you know. Maybe I should have it in my closet. Maybe somehow it will work. So it makes you want to buy the clothes, although you're not a fan. So for me, I like it. I must say I like it.
Many times we see that people feel like, okay, the streetwear is this kind of style that any idiot could actually do. And many times it turns out to be true. It's done by idiots and it looks like done by the idiots. So this is the kind of the opposite.
Okay, so let's be bitchy now. Let's be bitchy now. Now is the time. Do you want the name?
Just be honest. We have a designer who is smart, who is clever. Petra is a clever designer. She knows what she's doing. She's not doing any bullshitting. She's not just trying to...
You know, sorry to interrupt you, but the word that really came to my mind, she's actually street smart.
Exactly.
She is street smart. It's not this, as you said last week, this over intellectualization, because even streetwear you can over intellectualize. You can over intellectualize anything. You can even over intellectualize a visit to the toilet. Let's just admit that, right? But she is street smart. She is really street smart. She is not, you can tell she is brought by the street, she's living on the street, not literally, but she's really feeling the heartbeat of the community, and she puts it into her clothes. So it's not a pose, again, it's authentic. That's what I love about it.
And one more thing I would like to mention about Petra. As part of research, I did visit her online store, and I realized this is the made-to-order stuff, which is, isn't it?
Some pieces are, because I might...
Which is excellent. This is the best way to, cut down on overproduction. You just made piece which is actually ordered. Fantastic. And you can do it. You see, she's not a big brand. She's just a single-handed run business, which is fantastic. And she can do that. So if she can do that, anyone can at least try.
Yes, I have a personal experience with Petra, because I'm waiting for her to make me a kimono. She was quite busy with making this collection and then putting the stuff together for Vogue, but she has a really nice kimono, she calls it kimono suit, and it's these type of Japanese sweatpants, but tapered pants, but really not tapered. It's something between tapered and hammer pants, really cultivated pajama pants, let's call it, with this kimono on top. It is a kimono, a suit, but it looks really sleek and sophisticated, to my surprise. Very nicely done. And she makes it, so she measures you, she takes all the measurements, and she makes it made to measure. So this is actually what I love about her. Also, the collection we carry of her is very small in numbers. So there's just one piece of the t-shirt, there's one piece of the vest, there's one piece of the sweatpants. If there's demand for more in other colors, she's always willing to do it, and she always does it with a care. So exactly, that's the way to go about it. Don't make a lot of clothes that will keep hanging somewhere forever and then they will end up in a bin, but make something which people actually need and will wear and will, really use. So yes, and she does it herself, which is, for me, again, hats off. That's the way to go about it. Not to pretend that you're anything you're not to be inspired too much by your colleagues. Create a community around you that trusts in you, that trusts in your brand, that supports you as a person, as a creator, and do it with heart. That's all you need to do to be successful, really.
Mm-hmm. You see, the problem with this week is I wanted us to pick up just one collection at the end of our conversation. It's
already 1.5 hours again. We said we'll be so short today.
But I can't do that. I can't just say, okay, this is out of this batch. This is the best out of this 5. Because they are different enough and they keep, in terms of quality, in terms of execution, they are on the very same level. This is a very, at least, decent design as well. If not groundbreaking, it's a very decent design. So it's really hard to pick up just one, which is also great. Which means this week shows me, it's my first introduction. I just started believing that there is a big variety of fashion in Czech Republic and Slovakia. So I'm really waiting for next week. I'm really curious about, I'm really passionate about. I'm starting really crazy about this fashion.
And I think next week will be a bit more bitchy again.
Oh, that's fine with me, you know.
Fine with me as well. Fine with me as well.
Back to our regular standard moods. Yes, finally.
No, the truth needs to be told, but if it's good, it needs to be told as well. For me, as well, I must say, I would not pick out the best designer because, as you said, it would probably not be fair this week. But the idea of Odivi with the sustainable, reusable, vintage fashion, for me, it's probably something which I can relate the most at the moment with. It's my own position right now. It's something which I contemplate every day. I'm trying to do it as well. I buy a lot of vintage clothing recently. I buy a lot of local, but I buy a lot of vintage, older collections. I hunt really for older pieces. I believe you can make quality clothing and garments from textile that's been used before, that's out there. It's again something which one of our designers we will review. Not sure if it's going to be next week or the next week after that. She is specializing in processing old fabrics and making new garments from this, so I'm sure you'll be happy about that. And for me, Odivi, for sure, for the idea. I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. The way I was not really happy with the naked presentation last year, but this year they really did it for me with the idea and with the presentation of the idea. And also because I'm really, I love to read good texts, or I love to read in general. I'm a bookworm. I read a lot, and it's really fascinating how you can feel the energy of people from their texts when they write something. And you just can feel the people who just write something because something needs to be written, so they'll just put it on the paper. And then you feel, and then you see the text where the energy and the beliefs are coming from the paper, and they speak to you, and you really know that these people mean business, and they really mean it, and they live it every day. And that's what I felt from their texts, where they said what their philosophy is, what their main goals are. So for me, Odivi.
Fine. So we agree. I'm not going to pick up just one, as I said, but I'm so happy with this week that I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna let anyone spoil it. Let's just leave it like it is, and let's just
agree.
Ready for next week. So the bar is really high right now. So let's see who's next. And I'm ready for this. I'm really happy for this.
Me too. I can't wait to see you next week, Piotr.
Yes,
and I can't wait to
same time.
I'm sure that I think that I'm already afraid that when this is over, we'll need to find some other way to do this, because I'm getting addicted and hooked to this, you know.
Why not? Let's try to keep it running for at least half a year. There are a lot of designers, there are a lot of brands in both Czech Republic and
you can do it without the other designers as well, the world ones,
Exactly.
The international ones. Why not? They need a big critique as well. They should hear that,
Oh,
nobody tells them. Nobody tells them. Oh, that's another thing. See, now the idea which I loved about Odivi, where they say the blindness that's being tolerated in the world of fashion these days, something they cannot accept.
Collective blindness.
Yes, collective blindness. If I may close this session with one idea, it would be this one for this week. There's nothing worse in today's world than collective blindness towards not just fashion disasters and the copying of concepts and each other, but collective blindness towards everyone. I think that we all have this gift in ourselves, which is given us by our creator, or I don't know, when we were born with this. We know what's ugly and beautiful. We know what's smart and what's stupid. We know what's black and what's white. And I feel like the collective blindness is something which there's too much of it today. So I really loved their idea of just picking up this point about not tolerating this collective blindness, and that even critique and really demand for quality clothes and for authenticity should be brought back to fashion, because yes, that's the problem of the day.
It turns out there's a lot of good coming out of the COVID-19. One of the things is we should take it as a final wake-up call for the industry, right? There is no coming back to the world, to the industry that we accepted and tolerated for a way too long. We need to construct, create, start things over in using totally new patterns, introducing new patterns, new system. So this is the very good starting point for all of us. I don't feel like we need to wait in terms of designers of the regions. We need to wait for our big brothers and sisters from London, New York, Paris and Milan. Why not coming up with how we can have our own say? This is how it should work. We can give a very good example using the example of both Czech and Slovak designers. Do you want me to introduce you to my personal assistant, the one that you just heard barking?
I absolutely know she wants to be introduced, so let's bring it on.
Okay. There is no show without Pugachova.
I love her.
Gentlemen, this is Pugachova.
Okay. Does Mrs. Zacharova agree with you mostly or not? Why did she bark?
Of course.
Did she not agree?
Because she's smart. She just, she felt like cut out of the show. She doesn't like it. She's not the background singer or the background actress. She's not supporting. She is a lead. So she needs to take the lead, and she's now taking it. So
all of you viewers, you may not know, but there's actually 3 critics every week. 2 visible and 1 invisible.
And there's the only one that really matters.
The gray eminence,
So she's gonna be back for sure next week. We're gonna meet once again next week. We're gonna review more collections. Yeah, I'm really happy. I can't recognize myself. I'm really happy. There's something going wrong with me. So this is the influence of the Czech and Slovak fashion on me.
And with these beautiful and positive words, it's a wrap. See you next week, Piotr.
Bye.
Bye.